What's up, guys? This is Alex again, coming at you with another bourbon video. This time I wanted to highlight Jack Daniel's and all of their limited releases. So these past few years, they've been freaking killing it with all the releases, and I've never tried them all at once in the single lineup for a flight before, but I think it'd be really interesting to see which ones pop out, which ones I really like. I've had all of them, obviously individually, separately, but I think it'll be pretty cool. So the bottles that we're working with today are the 2023 special release, the Twice Barreled Tennessee Rye. We have the Twice Barreled American Malt special release from 2022. We have the JD 12, which was a lot of people's favorites for 2023. A lot of people like that. They have the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Tennessee Rye Whiskey, the special release from 2020 before the mainline release. That was a big hitter as well. The more recent Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Barrel Proof Rye, and this is a store pick, so this is the more general release that came out last year, and it's been a big hitter as well. And then finally, the 2021 special release, the JD Coy Hill. This one has another cult following for the high proofers. So yeah, I'm gonna start the lineup at the lower proof and then work my way up. I'll try to give as many notes as I can regarding the nose, the palate, the finish. I'm no expert on this kind of stuff, but I figured I'll do the best I can and give you my honest opinions. And I'd be interested to see what you guys think about what these bottles, what you would say. So it'd be interesting to see how everything compares. So let's get started with the Jack Daniel's Twice Barreled Tennessee Rye Whiskey. This was the 2023 release, coming in at 100 proof. Yeah, I am getting like a lot of sweet oak from here, and it does smell almost like a double oaked bottle, so like Woodford double oaked, but it also has like the nice subtle rye spice that you would normally get in a rye whiskey. But I'm not a fan of ryes, but the ones that Jack Daniel's have come out with, I think are really special and just different, and they're not too herbally, which is something that I'm not a big fan of. But it's like that sweet like winter mint, like spearmint. That's the kind of mintiness that I like. Not too overpowering, but I think this is a pretty good job like combining the rye and the sweet flavors that I like normally from bourbon. Like some chocolate, some vanilla, like some s'mores. Like when you're outside in the fall, you have a bonfire going, you're making s'mores, and like there's some Arctic pine trees, and you're really getting that fall scent. It's really inviting, especially like in the colder times that we're in right now. Okay, yeah, I definitely get the rye spice, but again, it's not too overpowering. It's definitely on the borderline for me. Some sourdough bread, like a little bit of yeast, but it's a pretty complex nose. Like there's a lot you can dissect from this, and I'd be curious to see what other people say and think about like the nose on this, because I think it's pretty complicated. And every time I go in to take a whiff,
Cool Whip.
I'm getting different notes every time. The finish is pretty light, actually. The actual palate is complex, but I don't really get that lingering flavor. Like I'm struggling to get any more residual flavors after I had my pour, so it pretty much invites you to keep drinking more. You'd expect similar at 100 proof. I'm not expecting to be blown away, but there are other bottles here that are lower proof that I think deliver more of a longer lasting flavor. All right, next up we have the Jack Daniel's Twice Barreled American Malt from 2022. This one was a little bit split on what people thought. Some people liked it a lot, some people weren't a fan. Okay, yeah, so this is right away like completely different, which you'd expect. It's a completely different buildup of grains and yeasts. It smells great. It reminds me of cow tails. So I'm getting like a artificial caramel with like a vanilla in the center, and like you peel it back, you take a bite, and it's like a little bit chalky. Like that's like the nose, the flavor that I'm getting on the nose. Yeah, I'm getting hardcore tail, cow tail. I could see Whoppers. I could see Whoppers as well. When you pop them in with chocolate, and then when you bite down, you get that little chalkiness. Like the delivery was good. Like the delivery system, the UPS, the actual company that delivers it is great. Like the vessel, but the actual contents, not as great. So I still think I think I'm a little bit leaning more towards the Twice Barreled Rye in that regard. Even though the experience, the flavor doesn't last as long. I think the overall taste and more my palate is more of a fan of the Twice Barreled Rye. So overall, I think it's a good release, but I still think I'm leaning more towards the Twice Barreled as of right now. All right, moving up the line, we're going towards Jack Daniel's 12. So I know a lot of people put JD 12 on 2023's best of list of the year, and I don't blame them. I think it's super special, super unique. So I'm excited to try it again and compare it to the rest of their lineup to see how it goes. Oh my gosh, oh, wow, the first thing I get is like a sweet honey. I get like the genuine non-artificial maple syrup that you put like on pancakes. I'm getting I'm getting pancakes, the syrup you drizzle on it, and I'm getting like a little piece of butter that you put on pancakes. I'm getting a nice floral note as well, like I'm gonna feel the flowers. So this is the first release where I am getting some banana notes towards it. So the maple syrup really pushes through. As soon as it hits my palate, it just shoots everywhere else in my mouth, and it just activates all of my taste buds for a really, really pleasant experience. I can feel it all the way going down. It's a beautiful delivery. I think it's a great experience. I think this drink's special. It does dry your mouth a little bit. It makes you want to have more and more, which I think is pretty great. This is another great example of like, yeah, we're moving up in proof. The delivery's great though, and I'm not really smelling or tasting the alcohol. I think it did a really good job with balancing it. I think the age was perfect. I am getting the oak, the mature oak, not necessarily over oaked, or I wouldn't call this an oaky drinker, but I definitely get the influence from it, and it just the way it drinks, the way the finish lasts, it just drinks like whoever made this put their time into making this release, and it wasn't rushed. Definitely by far the JD 12 is pulling ahead. So far I'm at the JD 12, the Twice Barreled Rye, and then the malt. But yeah, this thing drinks special, and I'm gonna really enjoy the rest of this bottle. Okay, so now we're moving up quite a bit in proof. Jack Daniel's single barrel rye, barrel proof. This was the special release from 2020, and a lot of people went crazy for this release. Oh man, this thing smells awesome. I'm definitely getting like the same mature oak nose that I am from the JD 12, surprisingly. These other three releases have a stronger nose than this barrel proof release, which is really weird. But once you get in, once you kind of like focus and you really pull the notes from it, it's just very mature. It's like very serious. Like, yeah, I think this could be like a fragrance, like something that, like, this is, if you could make this a cologne, I'd probably wear it. It smells musky. It smells like old. It smells mature. It smells like you walk into like an executive's office where everything's mahogany and they have leather-bound books.
Many leather-bound books, smells of rich mahogany.
So yeah, the more I nose it, the more I am getting a little bit more of that mint, but it's very subtle. Like, definitely I'm getting more of the mature oak up front. Definitely not over oaky. It's just, again, it's you have to really hunt for these notes, but once I swirl it around a little bit, I do get a little bit of that mint, but it's very subtle. To me, it's perfect, and the amount of rye spice that I'm getting. Oh man, this is so freaking good. This is a barrel proof rye whiskey, and rye isn't the first note that I'm getting. I'm getting dark, like natural vanilla flavors, like a vanilla extract, sweet. It completely coats your mouth beautifully. This one's more like a wave. This it completely coats your palate, and it's just gorgeous. The flavor lasts a long time, long finish, 131 proof. It better be a long finish, and it is. It delivers, and there's so much to this. Like on the back end, I do get like the rye spice, like the rye, the more typical rye spice, but it's so sweet. It's definitely more sweet than it is spicy and herbally. Like I don't even want to say herbal when I say this. It's not like it's chocolate, like a nice like milk dark chocolate, or that chocolate that's green and has like a mountain on it. I think it's Andes chocolate. I could drink this all day, and I freaking love it. I'm not really getting the ethanol either, which is crazy. Like I get the flavor 100%. It's amazing, but I'm not getting the proof. I'm not getting the the ethanol or the burn, or not even like that much of a hug, like one of those, like that Kentucky hug that really warms you up. It's not really that. It's just so much flavor that's on the front end of the palate, and it just transfers down so well. Next we have the Binny's Single Barrel Proof Rye. This is the more standard release that came out last year. So before I go any further, I want to give a shout out to my buddy Chris, who lent me these 2 bottles on the end here. Thanks, buddy, and this one's for you. And the next one's for you too. Ooh, oh. All right. Yeah, that nose went up the wrong tree there. This one definitely smells a lot younger than this one. I am getting ethanol 100% on this bottle here. I feel like there is like inspiration, like the ghost of this release is in this one. It just definitely tastes. It definitely smells younger, and the ethanol is pushing through quite a bit. But spending some time with it, I am able to get the essence of the 2020 release and those similar notes. Not as much sweetness, a little bit more on the rye side, and ethanol for sure. I think it smells hotter than it drinks, which is kind of odd. Normally it's the other way around, but actually the flavor's pretty good. The flavor's really good. So yeah, I definitely am getting more of the traditional rye notes here, but it's still sweet. It's still on the nice sweet end. Again, I'm not a fan of the traditional ryes too much. I think it's a little too herbally for me. This one, I do have some herbal notes, but I am also getting more of that spearmint as well. So that sweeter side that I gravitate more towards. I am still getting. It's definitely in that zone. I still am getting a little bit of that Andes mint chocolate. It is a little bit harder to find. The proof, I mean, it is there. I'm definitely tasting it. It does taste higher proof. Still, I think it does a really good job for it being 132 proof. The flavors, they do last. I think both of these have a long finish. I just think there's so much more substance and age and maturity in this one that this one just doesn't have. It's just it's like if this was aged like maybe like a couple more years, I think it could turn into this. But I think for like an everyday, like a generic release, I think this would be like a great rye whiskey to have in your collection. I can't think of another standard release rye that's available that isn't a limited release that I enjoy as much as this one. So for what that's worth, I think this one's definitely worth picking up and giving a shot for. Last but not least is this hot motherfucker. It is the Jack Daniel's Coy Hill 138.1 proof. This thing is a beast. It's intense, and I haven't had it in a while actually, so I'm curious to try it out again. Oh man, this smells awesome as well. It's crazy. Like I actually have to hunt for the nose on this one as well. So the nose reminds me a lot of the 2020 release, the Barrel Proof Rye special release, where the nose isn't jumping out, which is insane for 138 proof that it is. Granted, it's been opened up for a while and it's nearing the end of its life, but that's crazy to me that it's 138. And from what I remember, like when we popped it, I remember being surprised as well, the lack of ethanol. Like I still get some, like my nose hairs are trembling, but it's actually not as intense. I think this smells hotter than the Coy Hill. So I'm getting almost like burnt flavors. So definitely I'm getting a lot more oak. This is probably the oakiest Jack Daniel's out of this entire lineup. Okay, yeah. I lost some nose hairs there. The oakiness is definitely pronounced. This almost reminds me of like a Parker's Heritage release from Elijah Craig, and like that Heaven Hill oakiness. It smells so good, and I definitely get like an overripe banana, and now we're talking like banana nut bread. So I'm getting like a little bit of that nuttiness again. I think from Heaven Hill, it's definitely getting that nice oakiness, nuttiness, but I think like a little overdone banana nut bread. I'm getting like those little burnt, a little bit almost crunchy edges. That was left in the oven a little too long, so it's definitely like browning a little bit. But oh man, yeah, this nose is good, but you gotta proceed with caution with this thing, because this thing will bite. How is that 138 proof? That does not drink like it at all. This, oh wow, man, Coy Hill's freaking awesome. Wow, it doesn't even drink that much hotter than these two. I still think that this rye drinks a little bit hotter than this Coy Hill, being 138 proof. It's just so, there's so much flavor. Oh my gosh, it's like meaty. Like this is a bottle I'm able to, this is a pour I'm really able to chew and really get those flavors and really sink my teeth into it. I do get ethanol on the back end, but it's not as hot as I thought. This drinks like a 120 proof, but there's so much flavor that like I don't even care. Like I'm so, my brain is so focused on the flavors that I'm getting, like the nice rich sugars, like the overripe banana nut bread. This is another extremely special drinker. I love this. It reminds me of like a salt truck driving down, just releasing a flavor, just going down. It keeps releasing flavor all the way down, keeps releasing flavor, keeps going down, keeps going down. I think this smells like the top of a creme brulee. I'm actually surprised. I thought that the JD 12 was gonna like run away with this, because I've never tried them all at once together. But I'm gonna do my my lineup from my least favorite to my favorite. All of them I think are good. I'm glad I have all of these. I think these were all worth the money that I paid for them. But I think the least special one is definitely the Jack Daniel's Twice Barreled American Single Malt, which I still think is good, and it's the best malt whiskey I've ever tasted. I've tasted compared to the Parkers and compared to I had a Woodford Reserve, their malt whiskey, their blue label, which I wasn't a fan of. So this one is in last place. My next pick, I would say, is the Twice Barreled, the Heritage Barrel Rye. I still think this one's good. I think that the flavors were good. It's really good for a rye. I wasn't as wowed by it by the other bottles. Like, granted, these were at a disadvantage because they were lower proof, but this is the lineup. These are the limited releases that they came out with, so this is their competition, unfortunately. Next up, I'm going with the single barrel proof rye. I think this one, the regular release is better than the limited release, than the twice barreled. I did appreciate like the oakiness from this, but I just think that in terms of like rye spice and just experience overall, this is really good. Next up, I'm surprised to say that is JD 12. I honestly thought this was going to be number one. JD 12 is amazing, and I love the honey that I get from it and the experience, but it just can't. It doesn't compete. It just doesn't compete with these two releases right here. Okay, so now for the finals is these two legends, 130 plus proof. So the JD 2020 release, the single barrel proof rye at 131.2 proof, and the JD Coy Hill at 138.1 proof. These two are monsters, so I figured like these two are worth a second opinion for. So let's try them out. Oh man, it's just such a deep sweetness. Again, the flavor isn't popping out. I have to search for it, but it's so freaking good. And the nose here, I have to hunt for the like all the flavors here, but this one smells I do get more ethanol here. But again, I am getting like a nice, like almost burnt sweetness, which is amazing. So let's try the rye again. Oh oh man, the way it just covers my palate, and it wants me to keep drinking more, because it does dry my mouth a little bit, but the flavor lingers. It goes down beautifully. Oh man, this JD Rye is awesome. Okay, and now time for the Coy Hill. I don't feel comfortable giving one a higher position over the other, so I'm just gonna call this honestly a tie. I think overall, I think the Coy Hill I think I prefer the flavor more, but after having a few more sips, it's intense. And I don't think, like the first few sips are amazing, they're phenomenal, but the more I've been having it, like it's actually like it's starting to like fight my body, like going down, like it's like the proof, the intensity, it's really starting to show a little bit. I think it really handles itself really nice, but I think the more I have it, the more it starts to kind of show that like this thing is 138 proof. This thing is almost hazmat. This thing is intense. So I think in regards to like the longevity of me drinking it and enjoying it, now we're starting to go to the positives of the rye, where the flavors are really good as well. I still think I prefer, like I said, the flavors here, but the experience overall, I think overall, like from start to finish, that the single barrel proof rye release from 2020 is the complete package. I think the flavors are, and like the nose, the flavors, the finish, everything is just perfect. Everything blends together so well, and I can confidently, comfortably keep drinking this without any issues, unlike the Coy Hill. So from an overall experience, I pick the single barrel barrel proof rye, but in terms of flavor, I think I'd prefer the Coy Hill, which I can only have maybe half an ounce of before my palate just gets shot. So yeah, that's my review of all these. I'm starting to feel it a little bit, but I think it's been a lot of fun, and thanks for joining me, and hope you had a good time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, which one you like, or which Jack Daniels is your favorite, or if you've never had any, which one you'd like to try. I think they're all definitely really good. It's really worth hunting. I'm super excited to keep hunting for more Jack Daniels in the future. They've been doing such a good job. And yeah, thanks for stopping by. I'm Alex, and salud.